Goeiedag, good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world.
I've been looking around for salvation. I've been looking around for the truth. All around me I see frustration, and I looked all over till I found you. I sit and listen to your stories, and you're telling me, please don't worry. Lot in this world you should know, and love in life is where you should go. If you're looking for somewhere to go, if you're looking for someone to know, if you're looking for someone to guide you, then love in life will guide you.
Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world, and welcome to tonight's live stream. And here's a special shout out to the Loving Life family. Good to see you all here. Right, now tonight we talk to a regular on Loving Life, Reuel Leach, who is an expert in trading on cryptocurrencies. In the interest of full disclosure, I started trading in a small way in crypto a few months ago under his guidance. That's Reuel's guidance and his training courses. In a few weeks, I made a very good profit on Dogecoin, removed my initial investment in crypto, and now trade exclusively with the profit I made in the early days. Crypto is unlike any other type of trading. You can make huge profits in one day or lose huge amounts just as easily, which is why getting some sound advice on how to trade in crypto is invaluable. Above all, please remember that investing as crypto is your own personal decision. My guest is not a financial advisor, and our discussion tonight is simply to alert people interested in trading in crypto to understand the trips and the traps. You need to do your own background research and make your own decisions on investing in the crypto market. I would like to make one observation. During this lockdown, many people have become crypto millionaires. All they've done is sat behind their keyboards and traded in Bitcoin and other cryptos. Now, one of the people who trades in cryptos is Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad and Poor Dad. And I've got a little video clip here where he talks about the three different types of investor in cryptocurrencies, and it's a very interesting insight. Here we go.
So I love Bitcoin. I almost bought it, I think it was 2017 when I was at 20,000. But I didn't, and I'm going to say this much here, okay? This is real financial education, what they don't teach you at school. So there's three kinds of people in the world when it comes to money. There's an investor, a trader, and a speculator. I am an investor. So the moment I started buying Bitcoin, I wasn't a trader. A trader is somebody who's going to buy it and sell it. A trader, like in real estate, is kind of a flipper. They buy a house to flip it. That's what traders do. and a speculator is a gambler. And I would say most people who are chasing Dogecoins and all this other stuff and Bitcoin, and they're speculators. They're all kind of gamblers hoping it'll go up. That's not what I do. So we at Rich Dad teach us, we don't say one is right or wrong. We're just saying there's three different types of investors. So I am an investor. I understand trading. That's what Andy Tanner and all those guys teach, is how you can make money going up and make money coming down. It makes no difference. So when Bitcoin crashed, I made more money. You see, and the guys who are losing money right now is because you're not a trader, you're a speculator.
All right. I hope that made some sense to you, but that gives you a bit of an idea of the three different types of investor, or speculators as well, of course. Now, when we come to Reuel, we're talking more about the trader, not the investor and not the speculator. And I'll ask Reuel to explain to us exactly what those different types are. Okay, please remember to subscribe to Loving Life on YouTube and to register on our new platform, which I will just put in on the side chat here, because this is where we are transitioning to. We've had enough of Censorship City, which is also known as YouTube, and here on lovinglifetv.com, we can report with integrity on any subject without being censored through a community strike. Okay, I've had a bit of a rant there, guys. I do apologize. I'll get Reuel on. Here we go. Hi, Reuel.
Hi, Scott.
How are you, buddy?
Great, thanks, and you?
Excellent, thank you. Excellent. I like your scarf. Is it cold there in Gauteng?
No, we're in Cape Town. It's slightly cool, but Nelda told me I must put a scarf on. So
I thought you were visiting Gauteng at the moment, but yeah. So
no,
Cape Town, everything's good, is it?
Everything's good, yes.
Fantastic. All right. Now I can see you got one of those screens behind you that YouTube provide, because it looks like it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon there. I'll tell you a story. Now, this is a true story. This happened about a year ago. And one of my guests back then was Inari Duplessis. I'll never forget this. And she has this charitable organization called Go Purple, where she helps impoverished children. And she had exactly the same backdrop. And here we were talking to her at 9 o'clock at night, and I'd never seen these things before. And I said to Inari, Inari, there's something wrong here. It looks like it's daylight outside. And she said, oh, that's a screen.
I actually painted the wall green behind myself so that I can use any screen I want to. So.
Oh, that's a great idea. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get straight into the subject at hand here, Reuel. Now, you and I have been obviously been talking for several months now, and I've got a far better understanding of the crypto market thanks to your expertise. Now, the crypto market is very volatile. In the last few weeks, Bitcoin, once trading at over $60,000, has fallen dramatically, as have most other cryptos. I have a couple of questions for you. Is this as a result of the Elon Musk factor, or are there other forces at play here? And secondly, 6 weeks ago, you mentioned getting your traders to sell Bitcoin. Very few believed you at that time, didn't they?
Yeah. So the first question is that the news is normally when it's too late already. So people only react to what's going on around them after it's happened. But if I had to share my screen, let me share my screen with you.
Sure.
And then I will show you exactly what we were seeing the same time. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. Oh, it's coming up. Now I see it. Yeah. Okay.
Let me just move that out of the way.
Yeah.
All right, so this is what we saw in December last year. So already December was giving us some clear signs of this is going up too fast. And then January, February.
Isn't that when Elon Musk bought $1.5 billion worth of?
He went just there where the price is now. That's where he bought.
Yeah. Okay.
So what happened was we were already warning the guys, this is not going to sustain itself.
Right.
So then in March we see the candlesticks were climbing on top of one another in April and May.
Yeah.
And so this is a 1 month graph, and we use very simple tools to show us this is just way out of whack. And of course, our limits, you'd never buy outside the Bollinger Bands right there. And of course, when your candlesticks are sitting every time on top, then some or other time it's going to come down.
It's called a head and shoulders, isn't it?
No. Head and shoulders is two small highs and then one higher, much higher.
Okay.
So,
what's this called?
So that's just a 1 month doji. So that shows market direction change.
Right.
And we could see the 20,000, 20, 25, 30,000 mark again before it starts turning back up again.
Right.
So the second question you asked was, can we know? Because as we did on the last show with you, we actually discussed that I told my traders to get out of the big coins.
Right.
And it wasn't that point of time when you can still have made some money on the way up. But at that time, that wave is so high that you don't know when it's going to crash. It's going to crash in the middle of the night, or it's going to, if it's going to, you never know. So, we warn the guys, if you want to land in ICU together with the crypto markets, which it's in, you got a high appetite for risk, then please, just get out into what we call stable coins and wait for the dips to happen.
Now, I want to just touch on the Elon Musk factor again, because it's a very personal thing related to my experience on crypto. And we were talking back in, I think it was about April, when I first got into crypto, and you said, look, watch Dogecoin, because Elon Musk is planning on using it. And I put a small investment into Dogecoin and made an absolute killing. And then you said, look, now's the time to get out. And I got out, and you were right. And Dogecoin crashed. And I took out all my initial investment, which is now sitting back in my bank account. And I'm now playing with the profits I made. So I can't lose, basically, because it's just the profits I'm playing with. And I think that's the way that I'm going to do it. It's if I can make more money on cryptos, I'll take some of that out and keep on just playing with the profits. And I'm not going to put everything I've got onto crypto, because you never know what's going to happen in the future. What's your advice to people on the best way to first put a foot into the water, and then go perhaps on one of your courses, and then once they know what they're doing better, what should they do? Do you want to take us through the strategy you use?
All right.
I should just say, I should just say that your courses, a link to your courses. Is this? No, I can't take this call. Sorry, David. I just had someone trying to Skype me. Okay, so below this video, we actually have a link to your courses, and just as a special deal for Loving Life, people who register through that get a 15% discount to go on your courses. Please, back to you, Reuel.
All right, so just to start off with, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give financial advice. We are just here to give people guidance on understanding that you are in the market you're in what we call a trade war. I mean, if you use the word trade and war, it actually means the same thing. There's losers, then there's winners all the time. And for someone who doesn't understand the game, that's all they see, winners and losers. But a trader sees that it's a winning and losing game. And the advice we give people is, depending on your appetite for risk, you will then put your feet in the water and we guide you through the process. We've also, my wife has got a basic blockchain and Bitcoin course for those who do not understand what it's about, and it's a free online session. What we normally do is we assess where people are. If somebody has traded or has an appetite for trading, we want to get them through the procedure of what do you want to do with this? Is this a short-term, medium-term, long-term thing that you're coming into? Is this something that is safe? And we start people off in a safe environment with a local South African exchange. If you're not from South Africa, we start you on the international exchange. We get all the safety nets up, the Google authenticators, complex passwords, and all of that, so that people don't feel like they're not in charge of their funds. And there are too many Ponzi schemes out there, and the Ponzi schemes are even calling themselves buy exchanges. So if you hear there's Luno Exchange, you don't log in and you find you give money to these people and then they give you money back. That's just another Ponzi scheme.
Right.
So we want to take people step by step through the process of what is your appetite and how much.
Oh. Okay, guys, I'm not sure what happened there. We'll just call Reuel back. Hi, Reuel.
Sorry, Scott, we lost me there.
That's okay.
Taking my green.
Ah, now I see your big green wall. Well, there you go. There it is.
There we go, right behind me.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, you were just saying. Carry on.
All right, so what we want to do is we got, depending on your appetite, some people like to run a 10 kilometer and others a 21 kilometer, other ones a marathon or ultra marathon. So we've got beginners, intermediate, and advanced courses for people who want to take this further or go further with their career in a safe environment.
Right.
Where we've got signals groups, and we got tribe memberships and stuff like that, so that people can be in touch all the time. They don't feel like they've been left in the dark.
Right. Okay. And when people click on the link that's below this video, they're taken to a page where they provide information. Can you take us through what you do with that information?
All right. So that link that you get is basically just taking you to our website, where you will fill in a form, and you will just indicate in the form, I'm interested in trading, I'm interested only in investing, or I'm scared. Let me just listen to what this is about.
Right.
And so we will then contact you within an hour or so of you sending that, or even sometimes 5 minutes, and then put you on the relevant course.
Right. Okay. And that includes your wife's free course, so people can just sign up for that and just get an idea of what's going on.
Yes.
All right.
So we start tomorrow with our new South African course. So what we do is we have a South African course and an international course. So the South African course is basically we are stretching it over 4 nights at the moment, and it's a 1 hour per night course, and then you get 2 hours of practical trades afterwards and a signals for a month. And then we have the international course, which covers a whole lot more subjects, which is what a lot of traders do, because they like the bigger exchanges, they like the busy exchanges. But as you can see, some of the guys that are even on the call tonight will probably tell you that they've made more money on the South African exchange and they haven't even touched the international exchanges yet.
Wow. Okay. Now, okay, I just want to put in the side chat here a link to a wallet that I use, which I found really, really good. If you're in Australia, it's called SwiftX. It's the one that I use, and that's the link to it. And yeah, look, they're actually based in Brisbane, and I've actually visited their offices, so they're not like these other ones which can scam you. That you can actually go and meet them, talk to them. A really good group. Now let's continue. How do people who know so little actually believe there is hope for this market and its future when you consider what's happened over the last 6 weeks? With it's been like a bloodbath on the cryptos, hasn't it?
Yeah, Scott, this is actually a fascinating game to be in, and we're coming back to what the word FOMO, the fear of missing out. People want to they want to just jump in because everyone else is jumping in. They want to get into the market and go, because their friends told them and the news. And normally we have a saying in the game that we're in, that we buy on the rumor and we sell on the news. And the rumor is only known by, some of the guys that are watching all the rumors all the time. And by the time the news happens, it's time to sell. So the more you see any cryptocurrency in the news, the more likely it's time to sell. When we talk about is it okay, is it safe? Cryptocurrency isn't really just a trading kind of store of value. It actually has a lot more functionality in the real world. And the blockchain technology that we're talking about is already implemented in the banking systems, in the financial systems, in insurance, and all the major digital electronics. Even artificial intelligence is going to be running all on blockchain technology.
Wow.
So what we need to remember as traders, as just logical thinking people, is that the future is about pricing. And if you bring a product onto the market and that product gets so expensive that people cannot afford it anymore, people will look at cheaper options.
Right. And
we've seen a new coins in the market that have been challenging Dogecoin. In fact, it's like a few thousand coins for $1, and we've seen how that the crypto market is being challenged by people like this that want to bring down the price, and inevitably coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum are totally overpriced out of the markets, and people that are holding on it, thinking that this is the greatest. It might not always be the greatest, and we'll be looking at. The fees of Bitcoin is it's about $30 US a transaction, and
wow.
That's just way too expensive. And Ethereum is close heels on that price, so it doesn't have real functionality for transactions. The people have always complained about banks ripping us off, but we in the same kind of space where we're paying a lot more for transaction fees. So we want to educate the people. If they want to move cryptocurrency, they want to use the cheaper currencies to move it across exchanges. Because if you want to send somebody 400 Rand, it's going to cost you 400 Rand to send 400 Rand, so you're going to have to send 800 Rand. So, or
crazy.
you're not going to get anything.
Yeah. Now, look, I want to just take you through two different scenarios, because I've been researching crypto since I've got involved, because I like to know what I'm doing. And more people, and I just can't think of the guy's name right now, but he was on Zero Hedge. This guy's, it's on the tip of my tongue now. He is a top investor in America. And just yesterday, he said, I'm going to be investing in Ethereum, because he said the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum is that Bitcoin is like the golden goose It sits there. It's going to make you money in the future. But Ethereum is like buying into a company, because the blockchain that works behind it is going to be used so comprehensively, and it's like you're a shareholder getting the benefits of being part of that process. Can you explain to people, what is that all about? Why did he say that? Because, you know, it's way over my head. Sorry, I've just had a call coming through from you on the other. Do you want to go to the other
just
computer?
trying to yes, I want to go onto the other screen,
Okay,
because
look,
I want to show you something that makes what that guy says very dangerous.
Okay, look,
So,
I'm gonna log out of this live stream, and I'll get you to Skype me back on your computer
Right.
you want to go to. Okay, here we go. Okay, guys, I'm just waiting for Reuel to Skype me back, and we'll continue this and see what he has to say. Hi, Reuel.
Hi, Scott.
Okay, there we
Sorry
go.
about
Now
that.
we're back on the other computer.
All right, I'm going to just go to my Ethereum
Yeah.
US dollar chart and share screen with you. Can you see it?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
All right, so what we see right here is basically, let me get the Bitcoin chart up also so that we can just compare the two with each other.
Right. That stupid grey patch is back on your screen.
No, it's the Skype call that's covering. All right, so let's go to, so I'm going to compare the two charts with each other and show you how history could be repeating itself, or how that is time frames. Now that is a Bitcoin US dollar chart. We can see that last candlestick, that red candlestick with all the doji, gave the sign of direction change. What we see right here, let me just get this also on a, that's 1 month. So this is what we see now with Ethereum.
Right.
So basically what we got here is almost that.
It's like a mirror image.
Yes. So Ethereum is basically 1 month behind Bitcoin for the drop. So if you want to buy it, you're going to buy it at discount half price. All right. So you're going to get it very special price if you buy it or just wait. Ethereum blockchain has become too expensive. You look at the guy that started Binance, CZ. He said he doesn't like the high gas fee. So Ethereum isn't the only blockchain. It's just become popular, and the more something becomes popular, the higher the prices go. There are a whole lot of other blockchains that are being used right now at the moment that have been brought in so that the transportation of these cryptocurrencies can be a lot cheaper. So a name, what's in a name? In the crypto world, a name could make you money or it could lose you money. And people will stop using the blockchains that are so expensive.
Right.
So I'm saying, be careful. This one that we're seeing right now, look how high it went. Whenever you say it goes outside this, let me just quickly...
the grey line, or the grey shaded area.
Yes, that grey area is telling us the limit of how high it should be according to the market volume.
Right.
And this has gone almost 100% out of that line.
Wow.
So if we had to measure at least 50% drop, we're going to see 1,100, 1,200, half the price that we see now.
Right.
So there's no way that this is just going to carry on going up. People, that's a problem today. People watch people on YouTube, and those guys give you free information, and that's the information you get. What you pay for it is what it's worth. It's worth nothing. They don't know how to read the graphs properly, and that's why we just warn our people in advance to say, why would you want to buy above that blue line? That's a place where you want to sell. So, unfortunately,
and you show people how to do this on your courses.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. Now, the other option which you touched on was the idea of buying into. Now, okay, I have a question here from Michael Lawson, and he's one of our Loving Life family, and he says, "I've been off bit trading for a while, and in that time the system got so complex and the choices of options so diverse that it has put me off because I cannot keep up with the latest." And I think what he's talking about is all these little penny dreadfuls, the tiny little coins that are coming out. You have a very different suggestion to people when it comes to trading in cryptos, don't you? And we got that horrible grey box on your screen again.
All right, let me just make sure that choose. Let's do it this way. All right,
That's it. No, it's yeah. Okay. So do you want to take us through the suggestion you have when it comes to how people should, actually get involved in the market?
Well, I'm going to say something, and it's going to sound very funny, and I think some people will laugh, and maybe some won't like what I'm saying. But when we were 16, 18, 20 years old, and we got to discover girls, or girls started to discover guys.
Yeah.
You didn't want to just stick to one. You were looking and testing the waters all over, and you didn't want to waste too much time with somebody who
The hormones were raging.
We just wanted to know everybody. We wanted to know what's going on, and we were just all over the place.
Right.
And I think that is what people are that do not have a coach. And I'm not saying Mr. Wilson doesn't have a coach, but crypto coaches are so important that you have somebody guiding you through the process. In December 2017, 15th of December, we had a shop in Pretoria, and a guy came past, walked into the shop. He says, "Oh, Bitcoin! I see you guys are selling you're in the Bitcoin business." I said, "Yes." He said, "I've just bought myself Bitcoin." I said, "Who told you to buy Bitcoin?" He said, "No, my uncle and my brother." I said, "Okay, and have you got like a good backup system?" He said, "What do you mean backup system?" I said, "If the market goes south, would you be ready for it?" He says, No, it's a good time to buy Bitcoin." And then a week later, when the price had already dropped like 20, 30%, then he came past and he looked at me and he walked the other way. And I said, "What's going on?" He says, "No, I lost my money." I said, I warned you. I said, "You need somebody to guide you through this. This is a wild, you want to become a doctor or a dentist and go onto YouTube. You can't go and put up a sign after a week and say, 'I know how to do the job now.'"
Yeah.
And this is what everybody is doing, is because it's virtually free to sign yourself up with an exchange. But if you go and do forex trading, you first need training, you need a broker, there's a process. And people think that they can. I mean, trading is probably the highest paid occupation there is in the world. So if you're not paying for your signals from somebody you trust, then you're just falling all over the place like a feather blown in the wind. So I'm not saying that's the case for everybody, but we watch at least 80 to 100 signal groups every single day. Wow. So I've got to filter 2,000 odd messages and see what is trending. And what I do is I write down the signals and I back test them in a few days' time, and I see this signal is not a good signal. This is a bad signal. And so I can rate all of these guys that are giving signals. And besides that, we have seasonal changes in the market. So the seasonal changes mean between now and mid-June, it's not time for the expensive coins to make money. So when we go to CoinMarketCap, most traders will just be trading on these coins.
Yeah.
They don't know any better. They don't think that there's any future for any other coins.
Can you explain the word signals? What does that mean for somebody who doesn't trade?
Well, signal is just that being in the market, one of the things that I say to traders is, for you to make profit, you need to be a good prophet. You need to be a good market prophet, or you need to know one. And somebody that's been in the market a while, that reads the markets, reads the signals meaning we know seasonal changes for coins. I know I've given my traders between 15 and 20 coins that will possibly go into bull runs from now until mid-June, because those are normally their season. And then also what happens is we get rumors of coins. So let's say, for instance, a coin like Digibyte, which is a fantastic coin. They send out the news that, well, it's a rumor that this month they're going to change the blockchain or do a hard fork or something. So we take that as a rumor. But when they make that announcement on the day when that news, happens, we've already sold the coin because the markets take a dive. Where other traders would then go and buy on the news and then lose money on those news. So there's different kinds of signals that we watch every day, and I've got 8 signals groups, starting from cheap right until basically what we call a tribe. And those people that want to, they sit with bigger amounts of money in the market and they want to phone at short notice. So it's basically somebody that's coaching you all the time, taking you through what's the safe coins to buy today, what is the news, and guys, there's problems in the market. Let's get out. Let's take it easy.
Yeah, well, I have to tell you, what I find very, very interesting, Reuel, is your private WhatsApp groups where you put in messages about what you should and shouldn't do each day. And, those are very, very useful.
Yeah, and a person has to be very subjective to what's happening, what's in the news, because when you see a lot of news about anything, that is almost too late. When the guys are telling me I'm buying Bitcoin, I'm buying Ethereum, there's already the news that's pushed the price up, and everyone that's bought it.
Yeah.
So a good trader, there's one of the Rothschilds said, when there's blood on the streets, it's time to buy.
Yeah.
And when everyone's celebrating, it's time to sell. And so like December, when the markets are at the highest in the end of December, we sell because the markets tumble after that. That's just natural movements.
Right. Okay. Now let's just move on. Where does a noob, someone who's very new to this whole thing, who wants to put in their foot in the water, how do they start? How would this make sense to anyone who thinks this is the future?
All right, so we've got two kinds of noobs. The guys that say, I want to stand at the door and just peep in the door on the window, and then they will just do my wife's blockchain course, which is free on a Tuesday night.
Right.
And then you get the other guy who says, I want to start now, and he will send us an email. We will contact him right away. We'll send you a WhatsApp and say, okay, this is the outline of the two courses we're doing for newbies. The one is a South African course. It's a simple course. It costs 2,000 Rand, but you guys get a discount because you're loving life. And the other one is 4,000 Rand, which you get a 15% discount because you guys are from Loving Life. So you can choose which one of those two you want to start off with. And then what we do is, once you've paid for the course fee, we send you a link to the course. In other words, you already can start the course right away. Some people tell me, I don't have time. I can only at 11 o'clock at night or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I can spend time. And your times when you're doing the courses aren't the same time. I say, no problem. I send you the link. You get all the information. You get 15, 20, 25 hours, depends on which course you're doing, of video material which you can watch. And you can do it over and over again. There's no time limit to the once you've done the course, we send you a test, you do the test, and then we put you on the signals group for free for a month.
Right.
So that is basically just an outline of what we do. And in that month, the people can ask questions on the groups about certain coins and just get themselves, settled in this new game.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking at the side chat. It's melting down here. Okay, so where does a person find safe information in the space, Reuel?
Yeah, safe information is very hard to find. I've found in the past that platforms like Twitter, where you get real news. I mean, you can say what you want in the newspapers, but there are people posting stuff on Twitter. So I used to keep a close eye on what's happening on Twitter, and also not only that, on Telegram.
Okay, now Reuel, can we stop sharing your screen? Because I think people would rather look at you than the chart.
Great. Let's see. Is that better?
There we are. That's much better. Okay. Please carry on.
So what we do is we combine the information and we give this out to our people. It's hard to distinguish if you go onto YouTube, a guy's busy punting a coin, and you know that he's just bought that coin this morning, and he's wanting all his YouTube watchers to buy it, and then the price goes up, and then he sells it. And we've seen these pump and dump groups where they actually tell you, okay, buy this now, and by the time you know what to buy, it's already there and it's about to drop. So there's a lot of sharks there in the market. So I keep my platform on my groups open to discussion, and if somebody has some updates that I don't have, they can share it and we can discuss it. So that's really, you want a safe environment where there can be a two-way discussion between people.
Right. Now, Vincent Code has said in the side chat, is this a paid promotion? And no, the answer is no, it's not. I have put my foot in the water with crypto, and I totally respect Reuel's advice. I mean, I've done pretty well out of following Reuel, and all we're doing is giving people the opportunity in this time during lockdown, if they're thinking, hey, what am I going to do? And if they've got some spare cash lying around, here's a way that you can actually earn some income, hopefully, during this period. So, it's just an option for those who have an interest in perhaps just sitting there trading on cryptos rather than sitting in front of the television set watching Netflix. I think I know which I'd rather do. Okay, so let's continue. If someone does not want to trade, there's simply just the investor type. Okay, now I'm talking about people like Robert Kiyosaki. I played his video clip at the very start. Where did people like that start? How do they get into this crypto market?
So the first thing we do with people like that is we find out how long are they going to be in the market for, because we have a lot of people say, I'm an investor, I want to buy this, I want to do that. And then every morning they check their markets, and if the markets drop, then they freak out. So we don't suggest that if you're an investor that you check your balances every day. But what we normally do is we find the best seasonal coins to trade. And then we tell the guys, now you're not going to buy the seasonal coin at the current price. We're going to buy those coins much lower. And by the way, guys, we don't do leverage trading. We don't do IQ options. We don't do margin trading. We don't do futures. That's high risk. If you're in that game, you either lose your money or you make it, but most people lose big amounts. We do normal spot trading. If you buy something for $10 and the price falls by $1, and you sell it, you get $9 back. You don't lose your portfolio. Like what happened with the oil markets last year, they dropped to minus $37. So we're not in that game. All right. So we want the people to get themselves into a situation where they, especially investors, the investor doesn't want to sit and know what to trade. So he gets on a special signals group, which he then gets a weekly update and say, guys, look, Bitcoin is too high, it's time to sell. And you've already got the signal, Ethereum is already too high, it's time to sell. And so the Bitcoin and Ethereum price have been going in opposite directions. And Ethereum has gone way too high compared to Bitcoin. So what we do is we tell the traders they can make the decision what they want to do. But then we take the coins that are much cheaper, the $1, $2, $5 coins with proper blockchain technology. They will spread their risk over at least 20 technologies. So like YouTube, YouTube shares, I think Google shares around $2,000+ at the moment, where you get BitTube and you can buy BitTube for $1 or less. So I'm saying that the future of blockchain technology and uncensored news is going to go that way, and that is where you can start investing your money. You're going to invest your money in the Brave browser, for instance. Your Brave token is so dirt cheap. It's like 10, 12 Rand a token. So that's where we take our investors, the guys that want to go 2 to 5 years from now.
So what you're actually saying is it's rather like being in the stock market, because there's a story behind each token, and it's the ones that have a great potential future are the ones that people should look at investing in for long-term growth.
Well, Warren Buffett and some of the top investors say the things that you need to be looking out for is that which is going to change the future and improve the future of mankind. And that's why Tesla has done so well, because they're looking at solar and all of that kind of thing, which people are buying into, even though the stocks are way too high at the moment and they have to come down.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what are the main risks of trading, Reuel? What are the main risks?
Well, the biggest risk normally is when people make uneducated decisions. In other words, you heard that you're going to buy a coin at $20, and then you buy it at $20, and tomorrow morning it's $19, and then you sell it lower than what you bought it for. Then you've made a loss. People think that because the price has fallen that they've made a loss. They haven't made a loss, because they got exactly the same amount of tokens or coins that they bought the day when they bought it.
Right.
It's just a matter of time for it to go up again. So that's one of the biggest risks, that traders end up selling lower than what they bought for. So the idea is to buy low, sell high, not buy high, sell low. And the second risk is, in that same sentence, is people buy too high. We never buy at the market price. We buy partly at the market price if we believe today's got a bull run, but we have orders lower also to catch those little dips in the market, and we then buy more at a cheaper price. And obviously then one of the biggest risks that people make is that they jump straight into the market without any education. They go and watch YouTube videos. They don't have any risk management skills on how to do dollar cost averaging, how to spread your risk amongst different currencies. And one of the things that we've seen often is people bring too much money too quickly into the market, and then they get a shock every day when they look at their balances. And most people that haven't traded before, when they look at their bank balance, they know that the bank balance today is going to be the same tomorrow if I don't spend any money. But if they looked at their trading balance, the trading balance goes up and down, and that makes their head go like,
And you've just got to get used to how the markets work.
Yes.
Now, because I can tell you that, as you always say, there's no one who's a trader who hasn't lost money at some time, because that's part of the whole process. You can make money, you can lose money. It's just what happens when you trade.
Well, the traders policy is if you lose 33% or less of your money at a time or per month, then you're a good trader. So, some guys, when they lose 10 or 20%, then they pass out. And with the Bitcoin dropping now, everything dropped like 50%. So anybody that sold now is probably made the biggest mistake of their lives, because what happens is when you wake up in the next week, the markets are going to be up next week again, and they're going to be driving, and you think, well, I sold here, and the market's back up here again, and then you're going to kick yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Now, how is the global news influencing the markets? And I did touch on this earlier with Elon Musk and his Dogecoin, and also his comments. There was a bit of a fisticuffs between Elon Musk and some big Bitcoin traders, where Elon Musk said, "I'm going to take you guys down. I'm going to sell my $1.5 billion in Bitcoin." And it was about that time that Bitcoin took a bit of a tumble. What sort of influence does global news have on the crypto market? And I'm thinking also with China, where they said apparently that they're going to stop people now trading in Bitcoin. Take us through that.
Well, look, Chinese produce 70% of the world's Bitcoin. That's where all the miners come from anyway, the mining machines. And the Chinese government secretly sponsor or fund the electricity that's been used for Bitcoin mining. Now, if you had to do a calculation on how many Bitcoin is produced per day, and you times that by the dollar value, you can understand how many millions and millions of dollars is going into China every day. The Chinese sell their Bitcoin out of China.
Right.
So on the outside, it looks like it's, they want to, just like every bank, every reserve bank, any government, they just want to have their taxes paid. But of course, everything you put on the front and what's going on the back is not always the same thing. As far as Elon Musk is concerned, as soon as he made that announcement, I say not everybody who's got money knows what they're talking about, and not everyone who has no experience and got money always says the right thing and knows what the guy. Everything happens on its time. So I warned my traders. I said, guys, you're going to see the negative news coming. You guys are on this high at the moment. You're celebrating profits and getting this nice giddy feeling in your head. But guess what? It's just a moment. The markets take long to go up, but they take a few minutes to go down. And I said, then the negative news comes and say, we try and blame people. And blaming people or blaming circumstances, it's just the market having its crashes on its time. Nothing keeps going up. That's what the problem is. That's why Ponzi schemes do so well, because Ponzi schemes say, we're going to give you so many returns a day, so many returns a month or a year. Nothing, no trading company ever makes money every day. We saw this Ponzi scheme that crashed last year. You guys, a lot of you probably participated in it, and I know friends that lost their pensions because they trusted someone else with their money.
Yeah.
The
bottom line is that you do it yourself. You don't give it to a third party. That's the bottom line. Now,
well, anytime you're not in control of your funds, you can't withdraw it.
Yeah.
You can't trade it. It's a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah. Now, Michael Lawson said, please ask if there is a net spot where we can look up reliable and crooked traders and trading platforms.
You can, well, there's a lot of information on Google that you can. I think there's a lot of people spend time looking people up, looking trading platforms up. I think what you must do is attend my wife's course on Tuesday night, and then she can answer all the questions at the end if there are any questions, because she covers all of this during her course.
And that's free.
that's free.
Right. Okay. I'm just going to address everybody watching right now, because I have to tell you guys that I was a crypto skeptic right up until January this year. I mean, I actually said to Marlena, we don't want to cover crypto because, it's too risky. You hear people losing money all the time on crypto, and that's the only thing you hear. People who make money, they keep very quiet. They don't want the tax man to know. So you hear about the people who are losing, but it's when I put my foot in the water and realize that if you follow some basic principles, you can do very, very well. Because as you said, Reuel, a lot of people who come into the market, they rush in where angels would fear to tread. They get burnt, and it's the people who know what they're doing are the beneficiaries of their losses. And this is the whole game. As you said, it's like a war. And if you just start slowly and you just get to know the game, you can do very, very well. It's it's just something to look at for those who want to take that. And the operative word is risk. There is a risk, of course. Now, Michael Lawson has also asked, please ask what will happen when the dollar collapses. Will Bitcoin lose its value, and what will it be valued against?
Well, the dollar has actually collapsed quite seriously. And what you normally do to how do you measure how weak or how strong the dollar is? Last year, we measured the dollar to the silver and gold price. The gold price went up, all crashed together with the stock markets. And then the gold price went double its price. Silver went from $11 to almost $30, went 3 times. So basically, if you took a comparison gold to dollar, the dollar went half its value. Even the rand dropped to almost 20 rand at one stage. So that the more expensive a currency is, or the more inflated it is, like the Zim dollar, for instance, it just goes way out of whack. And then when we measured to silver, then we said, okay, but then the dollar actually, because there was a silver standard once. In fact, one of the reasons why they tried to assassinate Kennedy was because he wanted to bring this silver standard back on into America, and that would have thrown the whole. Then this year we've taken, because the gold and silver prices came down, and we saw the amount of dollars that were pushed into the market. The Bitcoin price went from $10,000, $12,000 to $65,000. So if you take that inflation, what a dollar was worth compared to one Bitcoin, then you get the true picture that if the beginning of this year, the dollar went down to 1/5 of its value, of its buying value.
Wow.
So when we talk about the dollar, it's like, people say petrol is always a bargain. If you go and ask for 100 rand, you get 100 rand. But if you go and measure it to how far you can go with it, that's the crux of the matter. So 100 rand or $100 will be the same, but its buying power is the biggest problem at the moment. And if the world goes into more lockdowns, this is why we're trying to help people. We've got pensioners and teenagers leaving school and housewives doing so well because, when you're in lockdown, what do? Where do you go?
Yeah.
If you've got an internet connection and you've got a computer, you can make money online without, going and trying to find customers for a new business.
Now, a lot of the people that you've taught in your trading courses have become millionaires on crypto, haven't they?
Yeah, no, we've got quite
and
a few.
That's during lockdown, so they have had no income coming in traditionally, but they've made a lot of money through the crypto.
Before lockdown, during lockdown, but of course lockdown brought a whole lot of frustrations into people's lives, and one of them was cash flow and losing their jobs. So a lot. We devoted a lot more time to the people to sit down and sit and trade the markets, and then to know when to get out of a certain coins, because you can make 10,000% in a week, and you can lose it in the second week. So you need to know when to get in and when to get out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Now, Boulders and Steel asks, does Reuel speak to Elon Musk?
Yeah, telepathically. I was thinking, because I've got 2 books on Elon Musk, the same book, and I've been reading through these books of him and to read his mindset. And Elon Musk and I actually grew up we went to schools about 1.6 kilometers away. We're exactly the same age. He was born 8 days after me. I was the 20th of June and he's the 28th of June. So I even dream of him some nights and see how he is. He's a genius. And the stuff he says, he doesn't even mean most of the stuff he says. He just says stuff and he watches the reaction and he enjoys the reactions from people. So
yeah, he certainly made a noise with Dogecoin, that's for sure. Now,
well, Dogecoin will also see its backside.
Okay. Now, is there a way one can predict the news in advance?
Oh yes. I put charts up for my traders, which I use the Dow Jones, the Wall Street, as my world barometer.
Right.
And the Dow Jones is doing exactly what Bitcoin is doing and Ethereum is doing, but not at the rate that it was doing. So what we are doing is we're going to see some little highs and a big high possibly between September and December, and then we will see the biggest stock market crash ever. And that's on time for a whole lot of things that need to happen and fall into place. One of the things that we look at is the 7-year cycle, which the Jewish people call the Shemitah year.
Yeah.
And that was an instruction given to them in the Bible by God to tell them to plant 6 years and rest the land on the 7th year. And they didn't do it for 7 times 7. And so then they went to Babylon and their land was taken away from them. So if we see that happen in South Africa, it's because you don't rest the land. So what we're going to see is that this year is the year of promise, the year of rain, and we've already seen a lot of rain, even some flooding happening. So all of those signs are happening in its time, and then of course your stock markets normally crash in September and October. So what we do in the crypto market is we will capitalize on the crypto markets and profits between now and September, and then we will go into safe mode.
Get your money back into fiat.
And then maybe October, because the guys, or most traders lose their money in September. That's why this scheme that everybody joined in South Africa, they lost in one Bitcoin transaction, they lost 566 Bitcoins on a trade.
Wow.
So if you don't know the market and its cycles and what it normally does and the seasons and the times, so if you're wondering about where this comes from, go and read Genesis 1 verse 14. It says the moon and the stars were given for signs and seasons and times. And there's all the religions, the major religions of the world do that, except the Christian people. And that's why the Christian people miss out on what's happening. We give the people the Chinese farmers calendar, the calendar they are following. We watch every single religious holiday that's happening in the world, and we know how to prepare for all of these cycles that are happening.
Yeah. Well, I need to pick up on your point about the 7-year cycle, because when I was a young man, I was probably 24, 25, and I was working at Barclays Bank in Escort. And one of the wealthiest men in Escort was this elderly fellow. He was in his 60s. He was an old fart like I am now. And, he actually stayed in a small little room. It was like a It was like little apartments, but it was like a B&B, and people rented for the month. And he was a nice old guy. He used to sit there and he used to look at his newspaper because we didn't have the internet back then. And I used to talk to him about investing because his big win was investing in shares, and his big thing was fishing shares and mining shares and stuff like that. And I said to him one day, I said, how do you know when to buy or sell? And he said, well, there is a 7-year cycle. Now, this is back in the late 1970s, early 1980s, this guy was saying that. And he said, if you understand the 7-year cycle, you'll know when to buy and when to sell in various areas of the market. And he said, this is, I've been studying all my life. And he said, that's how I made my money. So, it's just confirmation of what you're talking about.
Yeah, when everybody knows about the 2008 market crash, and everyone knows about the 2015 market crash. And guess where we are now? The 2022 starts, we have to see that crash happening. Whether you look at it as a religious point of view, as a curse come down on the people, whether you say this is a conspiracy, whether your opinion really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What matters is there's a cycle.
Historically, it just happened.
Yeah, I mean, as I was working on a mission station, and I always used to know the cycles of the people I was working with, and I used to write it in my diary so that I know if somebody's got an off day, I make a note of it, and then next month I don't and I mean, you're working with people every day, and women, even men have their cycles, even men have off days. In fact, some men have more off days than women.
Yeah. Well, I find it interesting because sometimes there are periods in your life where you're just so lucky you can't believe it, and other times you can never put a foot right. It's just life, that we've all got our crosses to bear. But let's get back to some of the questions that have come through. George Franks has asked, I want to know, is there any large-scale mining in South Africa? Any of the currencies? I think he means the crypto.
There are guys that are attempting mining, but they're not anything large scale like in other countries. And the problem with South Africa is that it costs you about 50% more to mine in South Africa, because we must remember, with load shedding, you need inverters, you need a whole backup system, generators and diesel and all of that should the power get switched off. So that's already a problem for South Africans to mine.
Yeah. Good old load shedding, huh? Now, Michael Lawson has asked, and Michael used to be someone who played the crypto markets, and I think he's asking because he's wondering if he wants to try it again. He says, in the next 3 years, we will be in a cashless society. How then will we pay with Bitcoin without the satisfactory networks in place?
Well, the networks are being built. If you guys go onto my channel, one of my latest videos, I had an interview with a guy who's busy building a network, which is the next level social media. And these guys are building blockchain internet, which is called Web 3.0. So it's virtually unhackable. Nobody can attack you with all sorts of viruses and stuff. It's the safest place to be on. So the internet as we know it will be obsolete. Google will fall by the wayside. All your Samsung, all of them, the players that we think now are so important will fall by the wayside. If you don't think I'm telling the truth, think of you who bought Nokias and Blackberries and how you thought that was everything. And then there was some technology that they didn't want to change, and they just fallen by the wayside.
Yeah.
So we're coming back to the first thing we discussed, price. We're not going to use, I will never use Bitcoin for a transaction. It's going to cost me 400 Rand to send the Bitcoin plus what I'm going to send. I will never use Ethereum. I will always look at the cheaper, faster penny stocks. If I send Tron to somebody, Tron takes 2 or 3 minutes and they've got it in their wallets, and it costs me five rand or less, like 30 cents to $1
Right.
to send it, not $30. So the technology is already in place, and the guys are working on this day and night so developers are the guys that are busy pushing the future. We're talking about cashless society. How many of the transactions do you actually use cash? 97, 98% of all transactions are done via the internet, and we're still talking about cash.
Yeah.
I keep cash just for the guys that are looking after my car, and the guys, that I can help that don't have machines and stuff to purchase with. So cash, there's no place for cash anymore.
Yeah. Now look, I just want to just have a quick look here. Okay. Let's continue. Michael Lawson says the next 3 years we will be in a cashless society. We asked that question. I was a bit distracted by the side chat. Michelle Mullen's talking about the Kruger millions. In fact, Michelle, on the 1st of June, I'm talking to Michael Tellinger, who is looking for the Kruger millions. So we might actually raise that with Michael on the 1st, which is the night after tomorrow. Okay, getting back to crypto, Reuel. Where can we get all the answers to our questions on crypto?
So the crypto world, as we know it, is evolving at such a speed. It's like, getting on a bullet train, and making sure that, and that train is moving so fast. By the time you actually found a seat, you actually have to get off at the next station, and so information is so it's overwhelming at the moment. So I suggest that people take little bits on bites of information and digest that, and then more and more, because what happens is, for the amount of information there is out on crypto now, if you had to go and read it, you're going to have to live 50 times. You're going to have to live 50 times to 100 years old just to read all of that information.
Right.
And by the time you've got to the last bit of information, that all is obsolete. So the world now is moving so fast that we want to take little snippets of information every day, and not, because you'll fry your brain with the amount of information that's coming through. And even the guys in the crypto market, I sat and listened to 2 developers talk the other day, and I can see that they are not all on the same frequency, because the one is focusing on a certain area. So if you want to come into the crypto market, just focus on a certain area. Don't try and get fear of missing out, and you because you don't know something, you look stupid. You always look stupid somewhere. So just get used to it.
Yeah, well, the big thing that I found hardest to get my head around was picking the right wallet. Now, this is obviously lingo that most people who have never touched cryptos will understand, but choosing the right wallet is critical. And this is why I use SwiftX, because I find that they're really good. Their support is fantastic. If I have a problem, I can get onto someone straight away. And there are other wallets like Luna, which was the one I originally used, which I regretted it a lot, because I just found it so restrictive, not only in the support, but the number of crypto that they actually had listed there. It was only about 5 or 6, whereas SwiftX have got hundreds. And the selection of the wallet to me is probably the most important thing when you actually get into this market. What are your thoughts on that, Reuel?
Yeah, there are certain prerequisites. We have basically, we use 3 different exchanges to trade on. Depends on which course or courses you take, and you then get comfortable. Some people rather stay on the South African exchange, and if your exchange doesn't have a contact number that you can phone, or an email address or an address, you're busy with high risk stuff. So what we do is I have a support line, a WhatsApp support line with 3 people inside the exchange.
Yeah.
And if any issues happen, I have a direct line to having that problem solved within a few minutes to an hour. So that's important. And then you get the physical wallets, the Nano Ledger, which is like a flash disk we can store your crypto on. And then we've got the MetaMask. The MetaMask is the one you can store on your computer, but that we'll talk about some other stage.
Right. Now, I should tell you that I mentioned that with this group SwiftX, the wallet I use, because they're based in Brisbane, I actually took a walk down to their offices and met the guy there. And one of the staff, they've got they've got a whole of a floor in a building. And he told me that in April this year, back in February this year, they had something like 200,000 people who were using their wallet or their system. And by April, that had increased by 25%. They now had 270,000 people who had come into the crypto market. That gives you an idea of how fast it's increasing. It's an incredible growth of people pouring into the market. And that brings me to the question about crypto future. A lot of people say, well, look, there are countries like China that are saying, hey, we're not going to allow you to trade in Bitcoin and stuff like that. And it was interesting because I played a little piece from Robert Kiyosaki at the start of this live stream, talking about the 3 different types of investor. And during that same discussion, the woman interviewing him said, what about the China situation where they say they're going to block crypto? And Kiyosaki said, oh, look, they've been saying that since 2015 or something like that. And, it doesn't happen because they depend on the blockchains, which are actually behind the cryptos. If you don't have those blockchains, they won't be able to be doing a lot of the things that they're doing today. So there's no way they can actually get rid of cryptos. And you mentioned the financial system where they use now the blockchains, which are used or part of these cryptos. So you can't get rid of them because they're now part of the entire technical structure, aren't they?
Well, it's interesting you mentioning China again, because China is the Chinese have already gone one step. And if you think of even Russia that was banned cryptos, and the guys just forced them into, virtual private networks, and they just carry on trading as if nothing happened. And when Web 3.0 comes, there's no blocking any websites. There's no blocking you or your website. It's basically going to be a side chain of the internet. So there's the technology is changing faster than what any evolutionary change could be.
Yeah.
And it's changing, and it's already changed the world. We see blockchain in almost every single, even devices that we're using at the moment, and we're not even aware of it.
Yeah. Well, Reuel, I was one of the first people in Australia to get on the internet. I was actually working on a project for the Electricity Council, and what happened was the first browser came out in 1994, and that just changed the world. Because before then, you literally had to put the IP address of whoever you were trying to contact first in the DOS platform. Then you typed in the message, and you, of course, had to have your IP address as well. It was you had to be a software programmer to actually use the internet pre the browsers. And when the browsers first came out, of course, that changed everything because you just pulled up a web address and bang, and you went. And the first camera that ever came on the internet was a university in Los Angeles. I forgot what the name of it is now, but they had what they called coffee cam. And All it was a camera pointing at the coffee pot. And people all over the world who were the first people using the internet sat there riveted watching this coffee pot, waiting for someone to come and pick it up, pour themselves some coffee, and of course they got all excited about that. Now, that's how things have changed. You look at what we do on the internet today. You look at YouTube, you look at Skype, you look at Zoom, you look at all these technologies where we can communicate. If you'd talked about these things back in 1994, 1995, people would have said, "You're mad." But this is how fast technology is changing. 94, 95 was what? Not even 30 years ago. Not even 30 years ago. And that's how fast things are changing. So if we look at, as so many people have said in the side chat here, that it's going to be digital money in the future. You won't have cash. You won't have coin. You'll just have something like cryptocurrency that you'll be buying stuff in. So it's a really good idea for people, even if they only do the free Tuesday course, to get a basic understanding of how the whole thing works.
You see, with the cell phone and QR codes, you won't need a middleman anymore to verify, to take a little cut of your transaction. You're just going to go to someone and decide on the price and tap, and the person's got their funds.
Yeah.
So the blockchain verifies the transaction, so you don't even need middlemen and structures that.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole banking system is outdated.
Yeah. Well, that's another very important point you've raised, because fiat money is actually bullshit. When you look at your rands and you go and buy stuff with, there's nothing backing that. It's actually bullshit money. So when people say cryptocurrency is bullshit money, well, it's no different to the money you're using today, because it's basically a belief in the system that people put a value to. That's what's behind it.
Yeah. Yes.
It's that simple. Now I've got a question here from Bling King. Bling King, what a name. Okay. And he says, please ask what the guest thinks which coin will become the global bridging currency, please. Do you think there's one crypto that will become like the most accepted? Or will it always just be Bitcoin, or could that change?
That is, no, Bitcoin and Ethereum are, all these top 5 or top 10 cryptos, that all have their season and their time. So what I do believe is, like, coins like Chainlink and Digibyte and Tron and ADA and BitTorrent, coins like that, which are no name, not known to the public right now, and they are very low in price, and they will rise. But the coins that we are talking about that are going to take the market, they haven't even been created yet. They are busy in the creation phase.
Wow.
So what we are raving about now, just like I said about Nokia and BlackBerry, is that these won't be even spoken about. So like Dogecoin is a seasonal coin. You might see 2 bull runs in a year, and then it's finished. And those are the ones that if we look at it as a trader's point of view, or we're looking at it as a futuristic point of view. So the question could be double sided. For trading, we will not hold on to anything for a long period of time. But for investment purposes, there are some of the coins that are very cheap coins right now, and the reason why they will be popular is because they are so cheap, and because everybody wants always the cheapest option and the fastest.
Right. Now, iStorage says fiat and BTC are both bullshit.
BTC or ETC?
I think the BTC is Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, I mean, people make money out of bullshit, and that's really what it's about. I teach the traders not to fall in love with any coin, because it it gets all those names when the price drops. It's like, you fall in love with this girl and it's going well for 6 weeks, and then one night you find out she's cheating on you, and then the markets drop and your whole world
life goes
implodes.
upside down.
So the fine line between love and hate depends on, is this going to be profitable to me or not?
Yeah. Well, I have to tell you, the best advice you gave me was to get out of Dodge when you did, because I'd fallen in love with Dodge, and that's when I got out, and I was able to put in my strategy of removing what I'd put into Bitcoin in the first place and just play with the profit. Now, Bling King has said, please ask Reuel his views on XRP.
Yeah, I don't have much view on XRP. The more people that I know, including myself, has lost money on XRP, thinking that this is going to be the coin of the future. The first thing is it was created by bankers for banksters, right? And XRP is only good for transactional value. It's not good for invest value, if that's the question that you're trying to ask.
Right.
And
it's linked to gold, isn't it?
No, definitely not. XRP. The problem with XRP is that they've got over 100 billion coins in the market. Now, I mean, Bitcoin is 21 million. And XRP is 100 billion. In fact, there's at least 160 billion XRP in the market. And they can create, and they've done it, they create another billion or a few billion, and they just pump it into the market again.
Wow.
So basically what they're doing is they're just printing money. And the people fall in love, oh, XRP. So if you're a disciple, I can't change your mind. Only thing that will change your mind is if you see you keep on losing money on it. So I do not see it as for investment. If you're sending XRP, because your banks like Standard Chartered have been using, and MoneyGram and Western Union have been using XRP to speed up the transactions across borders.
Yeah.
Because it's 100,000 times faster than SWIFT.
Right. Okay. I think we've pretty well exhausted the subject we're covering tonight. I would just again say to people, look, if you're interested, and look, it's your decision, guys. If you're interested in just finding out more about trading and cryptos, and that includes the free course that Reuel's wife holds every Tuesday night, just take this link and just put in an inquiry, and they will put you onto that free course on Tuesday night. And if you want to look at trading courses, let them know. Through that link, you'll get a 15% discount, because Reuel and Loving Life have, well, Reuel's like part of our family, so he's got a special deal for people who follow Loving Life. So if you want to find out more, take that link, and they'll speak to you directly. I have to say, personally, I found Reuel's advice to be invaluable. The cost of a trading course you can make up in one night's trading when you know what you're doing, and of course you've got the rest of your life to work with. So it's a great investment to understand what's happening. Okay, now Michael Lawson has asked, is the correct abbreviation for XBT for Bitcoin or BTC?
On certain platforms, they call it XBT, and I know we don't use it much. It seems like they're using XBT more for your future margin kind of trading. So when I see XBT, I'm thinking, what's this? And of course, I know it's Bitcoin, but that's just for the platforms that are doing the high risk kind of trading.
Okay, now King. Bling King has raised an interesting question I'd like you to answer, Reuel, and he says, Reuel's views on XRP just made him lose his credibility. He is a trader and not an investor. Well, yes, he is a trader. Would you like to respond to what Bling King said?
Well, if I had to throw a graph of XRP up now, as to where it's been, I mean, it's had probably in its lifetime probably 6 good bull runs, and as a trader, and what happens is, the problem is with so many people that own XRP is that when the price just goes up 10, 20, 30%, then the guys just dump their coins into the market. So when you've got an oversupply of anything, you never know how high this price is going to go. So XRP, in my experience, because I met one of the developers in Johannesburg a few years ago, and I asked him the same question, and he says, why do you think we want XRP's price to go up? He says, we wanted the price to be as low as possible so that the bankers don't use something else for transactions. So I said, thank you very much. That's all I wanted to hear. And one of the CEOs of XRP, Ripple, said the same himself. They're not promoting creating FOMO for the price to go up. So as far as I'm concerned, I do not see, to make money. We're here to make money. We're not here to fall in love and get married to any of these coins like a lot of people are.
Yeah, well, look, I hear what you're saying. I mean, some people like to just invest and sit on their coins, which is fine, and other people like to make money in the short term, which is trading. Now, Astra Shaw says, what about IOTA, IOTA? It is free to transmit and completely private and is said to be faster, much faster than Bitcoin. It is recommended by Sam Folkering, who has written 2 books about altcoins. Do you have any comments on that, IOTA?
Well, yes, we already got the answers. Yeah, look, IOTA is just one of these IOTA, there's IOTA X, there's a whole lot of cryptocurrencies that are making the inroads. And the problem we've got at least 600 cryptocurrencies that and which one do we choose? And if something resonates with you, then you buy it and you make money on it, or you lose money and then you get disappointed and you look for something else, or you're all over the place. So I say to people, look what's seasonal and what's the time of the year, and buy it. And if the price is $300 or $600 or $10,000, expect that price is too high, because there's cryptocurrencies that are part of a dollar cent. Never mind 1 Satoshi, and those are coming with NFTs and all of that. So if you think of these new creations that the Japanese have brought into the market, it might bring a big crash in. I almost said the wrong word. Big crash in the crypto market soon.
Right. Now Michelle's raised a very important point, because she says this is for people with money to play. Now, my suggestion, look, I didn't put a lot of money into crypto. I put a comparatively small amount, and I just wanted to put my foot in the water just to see whether it'd be bitten by a shark or whether I'd feel that, oh, this is rather nice, and the latter was what happened. Now, how much money do you think, as a minimum, people should look at just playing with if they want to just have a bit of a play with cryptos? What's the minimum amount of money that in rands that you think that they should put in if they haven't got a lot of cash?
All right, so I'll give you an example. Now, since then, since the story I'm going to tell you, the market has changed so drastically, because now we can trade in gold and silver and stock markets on the crypto exchanges. So it's not like you're in a green world. But 28th of February 2017, I had a guy, he was the owner of 2 taxis, and then he had to sell one because the driver was messing up, and the second one was standing in bricks in his driveway. And he said to me, my wife told me I can't sit at home anymore, and I must get my butt and go and learn to trade. And she gave him my number, and I gave him a trading course, and he started with 1,000 Rand. And that was what he was comfortable with, and he started trading. and he just kept on trading it, and then in December he came to see me, and his portfolio had risen to about 130,000 in that year.
Wow.
And he said to me, he started with 1,000, and then 2 months later he put another 1,000. His wife gave some of her money because she saw him improving. So he said, what's left of my portfolio is 110,000. He says, I've used the other 20,000 to pay, overheads and stuff like that. Now, my question to you is, if you're not someone that's investing in something that's gonna be profitable for you in a stock market crash, like gold or silver, growing vegetables in your garden instead of putting plants all over the garden and the plants not being able to give you food, what have you got then to live on? So my advice is start with 500 or 1,000 rand and buy some of the very, very cheaper ones, and if you get, you'll see how those coins grow in value over time.
Right. Okay. And, to facilitate that, guys, all you have to do is go on that free course with Reuel's wife, and you'll get an understanding of how to actually put your foot in the water. But look, that's free. So this is what I love about speaking to Reuel, because people can choose their poison. They can say, okay, we'll just do the free course and put for like 500 rand in and have a play. Heck, you go out for dinner, you spend 500 rand. But this way you're looking at actually learning through a small investment how to actually trade in something that could potentially earn you an income in the future. It's certainly, I think, a viable option, and I'm delighted that I put my foot in the water. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this as the last question, and I'm going to ask Reuel to wrap up for us. Bling King has asked, XRP is occupying all parts of crypto. Is Reuel aware of the Spark aspect? Have you heard of the Spark aspect?
Yeah, it's it's like the side chain that they created on. You see, that's the problem that I find with people. I've got guys that are Bitcoin Cash people and XRP people, and if you say anything against it, then they're going to be fighting tooth and nail. If you want the coin, keep it. If that's your coin, keep it. But that's not the one that we are making money on, and that's not the one that's created for blockchains that we believe. So,
right.
If you want to try and educate me for me to buy, we've been in this game for almost 6 years now, and we've learned some very, very hard lessons in this game. So,
yeah, as I said, when you trade, you don't just win, you lose as well. So you've got to take the good with the bad. Now, I should also just say to everybody who's registered on lovinglifetv.com, please, guys, remember we have a lot of collaborating channels who participate on lovinglifetv.com, and I'm very happy to say that Reuel's channel is on there. So if you register on lovinglifetv.com, when new videos come up that Reuel puts up, you will be in the future alerted to those videos through our channel when we start sending out our daily emails, which will be happening hopefully in the next week or so. We're just waiting for the forums to be transferred across to the main platforms, because once we do that, you won't have to register twice. You can just register on lovinglifetv.com, and then you automatically can use that registration to get in the forum. So we're just trying to make things a bit more efficient before we actually start broadcasting our updates on lovinglifetv.com. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to wrap up the discussion tonight, Reuel. Is there something you'd like to say to people?
So for everybody that's ever wondered about trading, because I had this appetite, but I never got my feet in. It felt like overwhelming when I went to go and learn Forex, and then they wanted to sell me a trading bot to get started with, and I was just like, oh, no, this is not for me. But what we do is we normally establish what your needs are. So just like you guys know Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, where you get an employee and a self-employed, and depending on like we compare an employee to a scalp trader, somebody who doesn't have a lot of time to sit and trade in front of the screen. They want to do one trade a day or 3 trades a week. We give you the right coins or the right currencies to trade, that you don't need to sit and watch those. So we have low entry points, and we know that in the next few days or a week, it's going to give you some good profits. For those of you who are wanting to sit for hours and hours in front of the screen, I've had guys that sit up to 16 hours a day in front of the screen.
Wow.
I mean, to me, that's a total waste of time, but people have that energy and that appetite, and they must go for it. And what I do warn those guys is that every third or fourth day, you're going to see a crash in the coin that you, at least a third or fourth day, you're going to see a crash. So we work out the cycles and the days for each and every cryptocurrency. And then we help that trader, especially those who come and do like apprenticeships with us and learn, to learn this. And then, of course, then there's your more investor or swing trader types, the people that say, I want to, every 2 or 3 months, there's a coin you would either sell or buy. So depending on where you are, what your appetite is, we cater for all of that, because not everybody is in the same place at the same time. We do see that some guys, when they start making big money, like one of our lady, she just had this urge. I need to make money, and she loaned 17K from a family member, and when 2 weeks later she was sitting on 103,000 rand. And she said, when she told the people, not even my traders could believe her, because they said it can't be done. She says, I just followed the formula. So what we teach people is not just the average everyday kind of trading. We teach you a risk management, and we teach you, otherwise you're going to do damage control. And she took the money and she went and paid all her debts off, paid the 17,000, and she's been trading with the rest, like the other 50,000 ever since. And she says, I can do this whenever I want. And she knows exactly what to expect. And she says, she said, I lost a tooth the other day, and this is paid for the tooth to get back into my mouth. So you never know when you need the money.
Yeah. No, fantastic. All right, Reuel, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I'll just say it one last time, guys. If you want to get into crypto, please go to that link. And you can always go on the free courses, which happen on Tuesday night, where you can learn what it's all about. And, at least you understand a technology which is going to play a big part in our lives in the future. I have no question about that. Bling King has come back and said trading is not a smart way, investing is. Well, we all have our own different views. I can tell you that trading worked for me, and look, anyway.
Well, he's right. He's absolutely right. Everybody has the right to their own opinion, but a guy that says trading isn't smart, it isn't smart for some people that have small amount of funds and they don't have an appetite for risk. But somebody who's got hundreds of thousands, they want to be an investor because they don't want to be checking their portfolios every day. So a lot of the people come and they say, I've lost money elsewhere. My cash flow isn't great anymore. What can I do just to create myself a weekly or a monthly income?
Yeah.
And we tell the guys there's a certain time of the month when you get your profits out, because we even saw on this last month how the 19th the Bitcoin crashed, and we see these repetitions of stuff happening. So we prepare the traders. I give them a calendar right in front before the month starts, so then they can expect what they can expect every single day of the month.
Right. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you, Reuel. Your experience is valued, and as I said just now, your your videos appear on our contributing channel, so people can go there on the lovinglifetv.com page and have a look at your videos and see your interviews that you've had with people. To my moderators, thanks guys for keeping an eye on the side chat, and you always do a great job. And for those who've joined us tonight, if you've never been on Loving Life TV before, or the Loving Life channel on YouTube, please register on YouTube, and please do go to lovinglifetv.com, because on that platform, which is our own, we are not censored like we are on YouTube. So you'll get a lot more information about topical issues like, for example, vaccines and stuff like that, that we cannot say on YouTube. And in fact, just this morning I put up oh wow, it lifts the lid on the vaccine. I'll just put it that way. Look for the article heading RRR-ARR, and just understand how the efficacy, it's a word that they love to use, actually is when it comes to the vaccines. I'm going to leave it at that, because I don't want YouTube taking down this video or this live stream. Okay, guys, take care. And Reuel, once again, thank you so much. And yeah, we'll catch up again in the future.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'll leave the side chat open for a few minutes so you can say your goodbyes, and have a great evening. Bye for now.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Cheers, Reuel.
Cheers, Scott.